So you did a great job in the previous video, I know you did, of learning the first half of the natural scale. Instead of learning the second half of the natural scale and just doing all these technical things, we need to learn a song. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn our first song. I'm going to put the music up here for part one of the song. We're going to do part one in this video, and then we'll do part two in the next video. And this song is a very famous melody. It's one that you probably will recognize. And if you played an instrument before, you may have played it on that instrument, on your flute or the piano or just anything that you may have played before. And it is called Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Well, little known musician named Beethoven. It's the main melody from the last movement of his Symphony No. 9. Incidentally, when he wrote this, he was almost completely deaf. So just a little bit of musical trivia. Very fascinating character, as you probably know. So Ode to Joy uses all the notes that we just learned in the first half of our natural scale. It does not use any other notes. In fact, this first half of the song only uses the notes on the first two strings. Just like with our natural scale, you can use your pointer finger if you want. Note how I'm kind of bracing with my thumb. You might put P up on the sixth string if you want and use it as an anchor. And you can use I, or you could use M if you wanted to, or some combination. You could walk them if you wanted to, or you can come down and use your thumb. But I am going to use the pick on this. And I encourage you to practice it both ways, with your fingers and also with the pick. So I'm going to get my good pick hold that we learned back in the basics section. And this is something we didn't cover in that other lesson. I'm going to take the base of my palm right here, and I'm going to rest it on the bridge of my guitar. See what a natural looking position is? I'm not going to pick from the air like this. Instead, now we may do a little bit of this when we start strumming chords later, but for now, we're going to come down and put the base of our palm right here, and that way you can just simply do a very simple motion just like this. Tiny little square sticking out, okay? Using that two-finger pick hold, base of the palm on the bridge of the guitar, not sitting there heavy, you can move it around, but sitting there as an anchor, and then doing these small picks like this. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play the song for you, and then I know that it'll be something that you will practice on your own, and I will have a play-along video where I play chords, and you and I can play Ode to Joy together, okay? But right now I'm just going to play it for you so you can hear it. Ready, play. And there it is. You just played some Beethoven, right? Or you're getting ready to. You can see that the song is almost the same thing twice with just a slightly different ending. So I like that. The other reason I love to start with this song is that most of the notes move in what we call a stepwise motion, meaning you are not skipping around. You're not playing low, high, all over the place. Instead, just like our natural scale, we're mostly moving from one note either to the same note or one note higher or one note lower. So that makes it a bit of an easier song to play at first. It's not easy if you haven't played before. You're going to have a lot to think about with your pick or your fingers and your left hand and all of those things. And I would encourage you not to get hung up on making every note sound perfect right now. I would encourage you instead to try to get yourself as quickly as you can playing it in a steady beat. Not maybe the whole song at first, but maybe say the first line of the song, something like that. So as steady as you can. Maybe you hit a note like that, but you don't worry about it too much and you keep moving. Now, I say that, and from my experience, I know that you're not going to do that. No, you're going to hit a note that doesn't sound right, and you're going to stop, and you're going to do everything you can to make that note sound right. That's okay. But if you can just force yourself to let it go a little bit and just proceed onwards, I think it's important to practice that way too. So it is great to practice and make every note sound right, but it's also great to practice trying to stay in the steady beat, because I know that those notes will come out with time. All right? And I don't want you to get too much in the habit of stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. That said, again, the whole song is probably a lot to bite off at once, so maybe pick like a line. Another thing I should mention, you see how the notes are divided by vertical lines. You may already know this, but they are called, that divides the music into what we call measures, sometimes also called bars, because we use a bar line to divide the music up. And what that does is it makes every measure, it organizes the music, and every measure is divided equally into the same number of beats. This song is in 4/4. We'll go over this more in other videos about time signatures, but it simply means there's going to be 4 beats per measure. Okay, so if you're feeling as you play, you will feel 4 beats in every measure. So good luck playing Ode to Joy, part 1. We're going to do the second half of the natural scale soon, but we're going to do part 2 of Ode to Joy in the next video. And then I'm also going to do a play along video where I'm going to play chords, have a split screen of me playing it and the chords, and so that you can practice playing along.